Are you ready for the country? No, it is not my decision to go. Pull up the stakes, open your eyes when they're closed, and we'll spend the least and make the most. But the things that you say are clay pigeons for the range, filling up a culture.
I remember the first day I met Idubbbz. He was stuck, stranded. Heartless monsters were all around him. They were closing in, fast. He had bullets, but not enough to last. He knew that sooner or later they would run out, and he'd be stuck all alone. And then I came along. He watched in amazement as I cut them down. Well then, it looks like I just saved your bacon. I reckon we stand a better chance out there if we stick together. My name is Clements. I used to be a priest. Not much use for those nowadays. What's your name, partner? He looked at me. Then he said, my name is Ian. But some people, they call me Idubbbz. The pleasure's all mine, Idubbbz. Listen, even with the two of us, we won't survive very long. Everyone I trusted died a while back. Do you know anyone we could count on in a pinch? Idubbbz thought for a minute. Then he remembered someone. People he could count on. He remembered Leafy. His chinless face always brought glee to Idubbbz. He chuckled at the thought of his utter lack of understanding. Then he thought for a minute and thought of Keemstar. His rash decision making, his utter disregard for privacy and basic human nature would be an attribute to the team. When he thought of some more, who could forget the honest and reliable Tana Mongeau, Mongeau, whatever, for Idubbbz, she will do. Last but not least, he needed somebody with that pizzazz, with that natural talent. But when he couldn't think of anybody, he said that RiceGum would have to do. There's a good chance, if they're still alive, they will be up at the shelter set up in DC. If they have any sense, that is. We're going to need a way to get around. I saw an old station wagon a few blocks back. Those things might not be very reliable, but you'd be surprised at how roomy they are. Anyway, let's get moving. Who is this man? Thought Idubbbz. I know he didn't trust me. I know he was confused at why a stranger would be willing to help him. But he was desperate to survive. Alright, I think we've gotten just enough fuel and food for us to make it to DC in this baby. Let's hit the road. I'll drive. We had 135 miles to Washington DC. Unfortunately, one of us wasn't going to make it. First I broke my arm. I was only driving the car. I have no idea how I broke my arm. We continued anyway. when the Indian food I had for lunch caused me to get dysentery. "I'm fine," I said. "Let's keep going." Finally, as I went to take a leak behind a tree, I was bitten by a zombie. I knew I couldn't hide this from Idubbbz for very long. And that's the moment when we ran out of fuel, but it didn't matter, 'cause we'd made it to DC. A war-torn, bloodied patch of earth, destroyed by these horrible undead freaks. Just as our station wagon runs out of fuel, we heard a radio blaring in a nearby window. "Repeat, all survivors who still remain in Washington DC, the government has declared a Class 3 biohazard in the area. They will be commencing a nuclear strike within a few short hours. Get out while you can. The city is lost." My heart sank. They'd won, I thought. "Looks like we have a time problem. I'll go look for your friends at the shelter. Meanwhile, you should go scavenging for supplies. I've heard about a place on the west coast that is supposed to be a safe haven from all this chaos. Let's meet back here and head out. Here, take my journal. I've written down everything I know about surviving on the road. It should help you decide what you think we may need on the trip." I'll never know what Idubbbz chose to scavenge for. All I can say is, I hope he chose wisely. The road is harsh and unforgiving, and they need all the help they can get. That's when its friends arrived, and a cute little doggy with them. I hope the dog was okay. Great, everyone's here. There's just one more thing. Back there on the road. One of those things bit me. I'm already not feeling too well, and I just can't stand the thought of becoming one of them. You're going to have to put me down. Why don't you keep my journal? It may help you out there. Good luck. I looked him in the eye, and I smiled. I closed my eyes and I waited. I waited. And then it came. Idubbbz put down Clements. Idubbbz and his friends had to pick a safe route to the haven. One was flooded with radiation. The other looked safe enough. The crew embarked. 276 miles to Pittsburgh. It starts raining heavily. You will have to drive more slowly. The crew was cold, but they will carry on. The crew was driving along when one of their tyre pops from driving on some debris. Luckily, he had a spare one and replaced it. They carried on. Slowly but surely. And then the sky cleared up. The future was looking bright. Out of nowhere, one of their batteries broke, but thanks to genius Idubbbz, they had a spare and they were good to go. At that moment, the crew noticed something going on a ways off from the road. Without hesitating, they hopped out and went for a look. They saw a strange looking creature in the bushes, From this distance, it looked like a half-man, half-deer monstrosity. Idubbbz, being of sound mind and reason, got the heck out of there. The crew carried on, away from that half-deer, half-man beast. They stopped and stretched their legs. Being in a car for a long time can make you stiff and your joints sore. And then they arrived. Pittsburgh. A fiery storm of chaos and destruction. A literal pit of hell. They arrived at a small shanty town. I looked around. They were selling items, but for the moment they had enough. They also looked for some jobs. One local man offered a car tune-up in exchange for them killing some zombies in their vehicle. Idubbbz accepted. He drove right into them. The horrible creatures that had ruined his life. He fled in them like pancakes, destroying them, ending their pathetic lives. They were husks. They were shallow shells of what they once were. They were no longer people. They were barely alive. They were parasitic freaks, and he enjoyed killing them. He did it. His car got back in tip-top shape, and the crew was ready to head back out to their next destination. The moor, 240 miles away. As they were leaving, a massive herd of zombies blocked the road. They were alert, that's for sure. Idubbbz had a tough decision to make. He could wait, break out guns and clear a path, attempt to sneak through, or hire some mercenaries. Idubbbz thought, and he decided to wait. The time passes, but the zombies only get stronger. That's it, Idubbbz thought. Time to hire some mercenaries to help us. The mercenary leader charged $20. Idubbbz had a quick think and decided that was a fair trade. He agreed. The time passes 4 hours. He watched as they were gunned down. But finally, they successfully got through the horde. Let's go to the mall, Idubbbz said. I need to do some light shopping. Off they went. The fuel is no good. Bad fuel. They tossed it out. There's no room for wasted space in this station wagon. They see a tombstone by the side of the road. Idubbbz thought when he stopped and investigated it. Here lies you, a player who is still alive. What does this mean for Idubbbz? What is this sick joke? My goodness. It's a zombie. Quick! Idubbbz sprung to action and put a bullet in its head, saving his team. Off they took once more towards the moor. At that moment, RiceGum got hot sweats. He was shaking. Idubbbz turned around. He chuckled. Looks like someone has a fever. They carried on. But at that moment, a fire erupted in the car, destroying 70 food items. A great loss to their supplies. However, heavy ash covered the windshield, which made them slow down, but they had arrived at the moor. Another settlement had been settled in the moor. This one too had things for sale. Seeing as some of their food was destroyed, Idubbbz made the sound decision to buy some more, costing him $20. Idubbbz then looked at the jobs before realising that $6 reward is not worth it, and so with that he checked in with his team, who besides RiceGum having a fever were in high spirits. He decided it was best to head off again to a new destination, to Indianapolis, 170 miles away. Off they took. Crawling along. There's a crack in the gas tank, it's been leaking, Idubbbz said. He patches it up and they're good to go. On the lonely road of despair. At that moment, he sees an explosion in the distance. My God, he explains. The world is ending. They proceed, but at that moment, he sees something going on in the distance. He gets out of a car to investigate. Someone could need help. When Idubbbz gets out of a car, he realises that someone has grabbed a Keemstar and they have a gun. The crazed man turns to Idubbbz and said, "What's their life worth to you?" Idubbbz has nothing to offer besides ammo. And after all, Keemstar is a gnome. He decides that the risk is worth it and takes a shot. If someone's going to kill him, it'll be me, Idubbbz thought. He saved Keemstar's life. For now. After that scuffle, a military vehicle pulls the crew over and questions them for an hour. My God, Idubbbz says, we're out of food. It's okay. They can survive for now. They made it to Indianapolis. We need food, Idubbbz says, but we have no money. He must do a job. But there is no jobs offering money, only car tune-ups. He has no choice but to sell his items. He must sell some ammo for $15. It's at that moment he realised that this settlement isn't even selling food. A grave mistake, but one that Idubbbz can fix by scavenging to save his team. He chooses a reliable and practical pistol and takes off to scavenge. At that moment he sees a walker, several actually, and takes the shot. He sees a fellow scavenger getting eaten alive by a zombie. He has no time to help. He must save himself and his friends. My God, they're everywhere. Everywhere. He sees some scrap, but it's too late. He has to go back. Go back with 265 food. He did it. He found the food. "Let's go, guys," he says. "We're out of here." They're travelling to the farmland 254 miles away. "Let's go," says Idubbbz. At that moment, RiceGum bolted up. "I feel great," he said. "That's good to hear," said Idubbbz. "Now shut up." Idubbbz looks. He squints in the distance. "What is that?" he says. He goes to investigate. He approaches a lively-looking building. Out front is a band of survivors who look healthy. One of them rises from a stew he was tending to and comes to greet Idubbbz. "Hello there, friend. It's good to see such a fine-looking bunch of folks out here in my neck of the woods." Idubbbz, being the friendly guy he is, greets the stranger. They shake hands. The man wants to trade. Idubbbz says okay. "That sounds great. Only thing is, we don't need supplies. The only thing we need are good, hard, working bodies." He's eyeing down Tana. "We will make sure it's well worth your while." Idubbbz thinks. Could he really trade Tana for food, for fuel, or for money? And then he decides, of course he can, and trades her for 500 food. Idubbbz agrees to the deal and trades Tana for the food. He informs her that she'll be staying with these people now. He takes the supplies and returns to the station wagon. "Where's Tana?" says Leafy, Keemstar and RiceGum. "She's in a better place," says Idubbbz. At that moment, their muffler is sabotaged by a bandit, but luckily they have a spare. However, at that moment, a muffler falls off the back of a car because RiceGum didn't close the trunk. Idubbbz turns around and smacks RiceGum across the face. "You fool," he says angrily and bitter. They carry on. Idubbbz notices something off the road. He gets out and has a look. What could it be, he says. "Oh my god, we're stuck in a maze of twisty passages," Idubbbz says. He decides to go north, but he's stuck. He goes east. Nothing. He tries south. Still stuck. He goes west. He goes west again. He goes west some more. But it's all the same. He turns south. Then he turns north. "My god, we're stuck," says Idubbbz. He tries for hours upon hours to save his team, but there is nowhere. It all looks the same. All of it. After 20 minutes of trying to escape, Keemstar turns to Idubbbz. "Let's just give up." "No," says Idubbbz. "We have to keep trying." And he escapes. He approaches a building with another stranger. "Wait a minute. I recognize you," says Idubbbz. "You're the man who took Tana." "Well, yes I did," he says. He is now eyeing RiceGum up and down. "We will make sure it's well worth your while." Idubbbz thinks. "No. I have all the supplies I need. If someone's going to kill RiceGum, it'll be me." He clenches his shotgun and thinks for a minute. of all the supplies they could have if they took them on. He smiles and punches the man in the face. These supplies are ours now, said Idubbbz. Give them or die. A shootout. Idubbbz is crouched behind a sandbag, trying to get a shot. However, Idubbbz got shot and just barely manages to get away. Are you okay, Idubbbz? Says Keemstar. Shut your face, you gnome. I'm fine. A heavy fog rolls in and they drive more slowly. Idubbbz hears gunfire from the nearby buildings. However, just as they arrive, Keemstar develops cholera. Goddamn Keemstar, what did you eat now? The farmland. A disgusting rural apocalypse. Another town, says Idubbbz. Another waste of time, trying to earn a quick buck. His money is scarce, but his supplies are plenty. I suppose I could spare some money on fuel. One should be enough. He looks around the town for a moment before deciding it's time to go. Off to Chicago. As they leave the settlement, a bike gang follows them. Idubbbz must fight them off. Using all his driving skills, he knocks the bikers right off of their motorcycles, destroying them, breaking their bones, ruining their bodies, ending their lives. He's laughing maniacally. Destroying lives is his specialty. He's good at it. And most importantly, he makes it fun. That's the last of them, says Idubbbz. Let's get out of here. They survived the attack, and the sky clears up, a beacon of hope and morale for the team. 192 miles to Chicago. They carry on, but Idubbbz does not notice a speed bump on the road, and everyone hits their head as they fly over it. Idubbbz looks at RiceGum. He's looking weak. Very weak. But medkits are sparse. However, at that moment, a bandit sneaks up and grabs RiceGum. Holy shit, says Idubbbz. I only get one shot. The bandit, however, looks nice and charming, and Idubbbz realizes that RiceGum is cancer, and cancer must be exterminated. Idubbbz laughs. RiceGum is no more. Huzzah, says Idubbbz. The cure of cancer. Keemstar is looking awfully sick, says Idubbbz. Perhaps we shall help him in Chicago. Medkits. He buys one. No, I can't, says Idubbbz. We have no goddamn money. Luckily, he already has some, and gives it to Keemstar to keep him alive. Leafy has a cut on his arm as well. Each of them get one medkit each. They carry on, but the church, it's closer. Idubbbz decides that radiation there is a risk worth taking to get there faster, and they embark on their journey. The landscape is a devolved, chaotic mess. A muffler has broken on the car. Idubbbz must search for a new one. However, Keemstar no longer has cholera. Good, says Idubbbz. I will be Keemstar's end, not cholera. Idubbbz goes out to scavenge for a new muffler. What you would have is RiceGum closed the trunk, and one didn't break. Goddamn RiceGum, says Idubbbz. Idubbbz sees someone stealing supplies. Supplies that he needs. He kills him in cold blood. He must survive. No! It is my money, says Idubbbz. A zombie. 2 zombies. 3, 4, 5. They're coming at him fast now. Real fast. He turns and shoots. But they're coming at a rapid speed. He gets hit. He's injured, but alive. He got some food and some money, but no muffler. He decides to trade for a local man nearby. For a battery, Idubbbz agrees. They have a new muffler. Hooray. He decides to get back on the road as fast as possible. However, Idubbbz spends an hour helping strangers bury their loved ones, like the good guy he is. They carry on. Keemstar has exhaustion. I guess he wasn't as fast as he said he was. They proceed down the road. Keemstar, after having a sleep on the back seat, is no longer exhausted. What's on the side of the road, Idubbbz thinks. Let's have a look. An abandoned hospital building. There's body bags piled up. Just as they're ready to leave, a cry echoes from down the hall. He investigates. The cry becomes louder and louder. He goes through a door that leads maternity ward. There's a baby. A baby alive. A couple huddles at the glass, staring at the baby. They're pounding on the glass. It's cracking. Idubbbz can't let an innocent baby be slaughtered by these savages. And he kills them. Die, says Idubbbz. Die. The other zombie pounds on the glass. He walks up and Idubbbz shoots it in the head. We now have a baby. I must take it with us, says Idubbbz. Another mouth to feed. But a crying baby is better than an adult having a midlife crisis, such as Keemstar. They carry on down the road. The harsh road. At that moment, some food goes bad. Fuck, says Idubbbz. What else could go wrong today? They try and catch an animal for an hour, but they never do. The church, I can see it, says Idubbbz. We made it. Another town. Another shit batch of jobs. But I have money, says Idubbbz. Money for food. Lots of food. He's happy. And they leave. Back on the road again. To Omaha. Let's go, says Idubbbz. Past the church they go. They find some roadkill. It's safe to eat, says Idubbbz. They stop, however, and they fix the car because it's looking shoddy. Using his amazing knowledge of automobiles, Idubbbz begins to fix the car. He got a few perfects in there, and the car's looking okay at the moment. Let's carry on, says Idubbbz. Keemstar tells a joke so funny that everybody is injured from laughter. An impossible situation. Keemstar is not that funny, says Idubbbz. However, at that moment, Idubbbz gets radiation sickness. Also, Leafy gets it as well, as does Keemstar. My god, we need first aid now. Keemstar looks awfully sick. He won't last much longer, says Idubbbz. And I really cannot afford to waste medkits on Keemstar, a bearded man-child. He decides there's only one thing to do, and that is to roast him so hard that he dies. I'm sorry, Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. The news is you're dead. Idubbbz put down Keemstar. He shows no emotion. They carry on, out of town, Idubbbz and Leafy, together. Another horde of zombies in their way, however, causes a problem. He has no money for mercenaries, so they break out the guns and clear a path. Hopefully this works, says Idubbbz. No! They were overrun by the horde and lost 56 food. God damn it, Leafy, says Idubbbz. You were not shooting hard enough. They carry on with less food. At that moment, Leafy develops typhoid. For God's sakes, Leafy, says Idubbbz. You buffoon. They stop and share a medkit between them. Idubbbz gets one and Leafy gets one. They are now both cured of their radiation sickness. Let's carry on, says Idubbbz. Leafy is very ill. When out of nowhere, Leafy's hair gets hit, shot by a stray bullet, and the station wagon breaks down as well. Jesus Christ, says Idubbbz. What else could go wrong? He decides that Leafy is good to have around, just to make fun of. So he gives him a quick first aid kit. We must repair the vehicle. We only have 2 scrap. It'll have to do. It's not pretty, but it'll do in a pinch. Let's go, says Idubbbz. I can see the town now. My god. A wild dog comes from nowhere and mauls Leafy. And Idubbbz gets even more radiation sickness. It's okay though. They're in town. They're in town. Leafy is in terrible shape. His agonizing pain consumes his every pore, his every cell is screaming out for mercy. His channel is dying, his body is dying. His content is in terrible shape. His body is in terrible shape, says Idubbbz. It would only be a humane thing to put him down. Loading his gun, he turns to Leafy and shoots him right in the chin. Goodbye, Leafy. Goodbye. Leafy is gone. Keemstar is gone. Tana is gone. And RiceGum is gone. The only man who lives is Idubbbz. He is alone, for nobody can match his talent, his genius, his YouTube channel. See, he tried to survive, but on the journey of survival, he thrived. He tore down channel after channel after channel. I mean, people after people after people. He was going to the top, whether he liked it or not. His comedy, his wit, too fast, too excellent. Whenever he saw people doing shit reviews, having shit content, being sellouts, being gnomes, liars and haters, he would cut them down in one fell swoop. Because in this tough, unforgiving world full of monsters and freaks, it takes one man, one hero, to save us all. And that man, that legend, is Idubbbz. He's the hero we don't deserve, but the hero we've got. God bless us all. God bless Idubbbz.